Chic West Podcast is heart-opening dialogues for self-identified women on a Chic West, a movement moving forward, striving to live aware, bold, and whole. Welcome. Welcome to your third Chic West Summer School podcast with guest. It's me, Estelle, and the third guest show is all about women and beauty. I've always felt that Sara Kelly and I had the same intention behind our businesses, to amplify magic with beauty in people's lives. And while jewelry making has been part of her life forever, Sarah is also a brilliant oil educator and mom. Although her style and processes continue to grow and evolve alongside her life, her work is always born from a place of love. And I can attest to this because I used to buy her wood beads bracelet like way back. And even 10 years ago, there was something that just made them stand out. Sara Kelly Design is intentional jewelry and spiritual tools for the modern woman. And I'm lucky enough to have collaborated with her on jewelry pieces and being at markets and workshops with her. She's helped me run my first ever She Art show 2 years ago and has been an incredible support as we both navigate the highs and lows of entrepreneurship. Most recently, Sarah's created an eco-waste conscious lifestyle inspiration account called the Conscious Good Collective. She's always up to something good. Love you. Welcome, Sara.
Oh, thank you so much. You know what? It's so funny that you said that because I am just always up to something.
I love it. Because being on a Chic West is striving to live aware, bold, and whole. I want to start with, I've been starting with the ritual of asking all my guests what makes you feel alive today. So I'm asking you, what makes you feel alive today?
Yeah, I think that lately, or especially today and kind of in this time of my life, I find space really makes me feel alive. And it's what I've been craving a lot of is space sort of in my life, in my physical environment, in my schedule. Space.
Oh, I love that. I wanted you on the podcast for many reasons. I mean, one, I think you're doing just incredible things. And as you know, you're our guest for the beauty segment of this course. And I personally think beauty is grossly overlooked in striving for peace and healing. And Sara, you've constantly been like the only woman who I've been able to speak about like beauty and resonance to what we adorn ourselves with, like, you know, jewelry, and also what we surround ourselves with, like in our house, and what we wear as a form of healing. And like everything we own, I feel like you really get that as like means something and like as an intention around it, and in return can really like amplify the light that we already are. And anyways, I really think you're like an emblem when it comes to authentic and real and raw beauty. And so I don't know if you could I want you to maybe talk to us about how you got to almost like reclaim and reframe this word beauty for yourself. Like if you think of yourself like 10 years ago, and then now, you know, what you've learned about beauty.
Yes, absolutely. I love that you sort of said, you know, compared to 10 years ago to now, because it's definitely been an evolution. And I think that's a beautiful thing as well, that, you know, we need different things at different times in our life. And so 10 years ago, I think that my lifestyle looked very different than it does nowadays, and sort of what I was attracted to and sort of chose to surround myself with then is very different from what I've chosen nowadays. And it's really about, for me anyways, really listening to that authentic voice and really peeling away the layers and sort of figuring out what's true for me. So not, you know, what's trendy, not what I feel like other people expect of me, but really what's true for me. And I think that really, again, comes into that whole space that I've been craving. And it's really about, surrounding ourselves, adorning ourselves, taking care of ourselves with things that we love and truly resonate with us, like the
But
whole
do you think like, sorry, I didn't, do you
That's
think
okay.
like even like I feel like it's almost beauty is a bit shunned in the spiritual community, like in that like I feel like if you're spiritual it means like you're a monk, and I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, but like I'm not a monk, and I feel we don't connect the two. We're like, you know um like wearing a nice dress or like nice jewelry, and two, like it has nothing to do with money either, which
Mhm.
is also like a huge misconception. Do you know what I mean when do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you just said it there, kind of, like you are a spiritual being, but you love wearing pretty dresses and colorful jewelry, and that's because that resonates with you on a deep level, and that is very authentic to you. So of course, if that's something that makes you feel, alive and vibrant and your true self, then that is, totally authentic to you. And I think that that's what it needs to come back to. Like, it's not about being quote unquote pretty or beautiful in, the eyes of other people, like in that shallow sort of way. It's about what's true for you. And so, what was true for me 10 years ago was I loved more is more, and I wanted to wear all the things, and that made me feel great and confident, and it was a creative aspect for me, like a creative outlet. And nowadays I find that I'm picking things a little bit more with a discerning eye, and I'm kind of paring back, and that's making me feel more alive. And one's not better than the other. Like, being more simplistic isn't, better than or more spiritual than choosing something more vibrant or something like that. But I think, yeah, it's allowing ourselves to do what we're authentically pulled towards.
Yeah, and I love because I've taken your workshop before, and I love when you say like people don't know which beads to take, and is that me? And like when you say that, can you talk to a bit about that? Like just the hesitation we always feel, like is
Mhm.
that me or
Yeah, again, it's about really putting on like your mufflers or your blinders and really looking inwards instead of outwards. So I find when people come to my workshops, they're always questioning, or a lot of people are questioning, should I make a neutral mallet because that'll go with everything? But I'm really drawn to these pink beads and these blue beads, but that won't go with as many things. And we overthink things so much instead of just taking away all that noise and just going towards what really resonates with us and what we're really drawn to. And I think, again, that's true in beauty and the way that we dress and what we wear and what we choose to surround ourselves with in our home. It's about, instead of looking outwards
yeah,
all the time, it's really looking inwards and asking what's true for me,
yeah,
like
and what
today
like
in this
what
moment.
is inside like will reflect outside, and that's just like naturally, and there's no like dissociation there. Um,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I love that when you mentioned that, like, just like pick something and like own that
Mhm.
thing. I love that. And lately I've been just thinking how it's
Exactly.
like even just in the little things to like because at Chic West we talk a lot about stepping into like our power. And something happened to me this week where like I was putting like really
Mhm.
bright like neon yet like yellow color on my nails, and I had this girl at the superstore and we were waiting in line, and she's like,
Mhm.
whoa, she said, I should bring you to a rave. And like I know she didn't mean it like in a bad way, but like I could see how that could like deter somebody, like what people think and
Mhm.
stuff. And like obviously I'm not gonna stop wearing like bright yellow nail colors and stuff, but yeah. And like I was like, oh my god, I could totally see how a comment like that could like somebody could like be
Yes,
completely
absolutely.
shamed and like and then I was like, I freaking love my nail color, I'm not gonna like change it. And then what you said too, like just like just knowing what you love and knowing who you are, and then that reflects outwards, you know?
100%. And I think, again, it comes down to what's true for you. And I also think that it's okay to change that moment to moment and day to day. So you don't have to commit to being or looking or surround yourself with certain things. It's okay to one day wear neon nail polish and then the next day be like, you know what? I just want to wear a plain white t-shirt and jean shorts and like you don't have to commit to one or the other. It's okay to change how you're feeling and what you're wearing and all that stuff moment to moment.
And I think that comes up in your workshops too. Like people are like, "Oh, this is like supposed to be forever," and you're just like, "No."
Yes, exactly.
You're just like, "Just try it."
I always
Yeah,
tell people
yeah,
that they can always come to another workshop. They can always make another bracelet, another mala. Like, this doesn't have to be your one mala that you're making and wearing
yeah,
for the rest of your life. Of course, I would love for it to be, and they're meant to be pieces that are worn for a long time, but it's okay to change your mind and your preferences and to switch things up.
yeah. Oh, so good. I love talking to you, Sarah. I
Likewise.
love it. And how about like in like picking jewelry and stuff? Because I know, like, I love that you use so much intention, and I love all the writings you put on your jewelry and stuff. And like, do people like how do people like resonate to that, or how have you like evolved with like that? Maybe we can speak more of that intentional piece, relating it to like
Mhm.
beauty and alignment. Can you talk to us a bit about that process for you?
Yeah, absolutely. That process has evolved a bit over time as well. And now I'm inspired by a few different things when I create. Aesthetic is a big part of it. So the way that the beads look together and flow together, but they also have like an overall vibe or intention about them as well. And to be honest, I don't overthink it too much. Um, I put it together and I can feel if it works or if it doesn't work. And sometimes I'm looking for a certain aesthetic. And then when I look at, the beads that I've used, they all align with a certain meaning, or vice versa. I'm looking for a certain meaning. And then when I pull out all the beads that I want to use for that, they just look beautiful together. And I think people are really drawn to both aspects from what, I've gathered. And it's both the meaning, but also the aesthetic. Some people look at a piece and they're immediately drawn to it and they know it's for them. And then, of course, they look at the meanings and it totally resonates as well. And other people want to go through and really comb through the meanings and the intentions. And then when they see the piece, again, it's normally something they would be drawn to visually as well. So it's kind of funny how those things often align for people.
Do you feel like you're a medicine jewelry woman?
You know what? Yeah, I kind of do.
And with oils as well. Like for me, like my exploration in like the oils is really like a part of beauty that we completely overlook as well. How they can be just such a big part of being and feeling well. Like I'm just so passionate about this. How like our closets, or like things we have in our homes, can totally alter like who and what we are and who we are in the world. Like, would you agree? Or
Yes, absolutely. And I think even like a really simple way for people to kind of think about this is think about even when you walk into a room in your house and it's very cluttered versus a room that is nice and organized. Like one normally makes you feel one way or another. And so it's really the same way with things that we surround ourselves with. When you really take the time to curate,
yeah,
your space or your closet or even like your makeup drawer with things that truly like you love all of it, it makes you feel almost just like this rich connection to yourself
yeah,
in a way that things that you don't love as much don't make you feel.
yeah. I love that. I love that. So because at Chic West, like we're exploring our own tools for personal growth. And of course, as you know, I use art and yoga, but I really stress to the women in this group, like it's nice to, it doesn't have to be that for you, you know, it can be, you know, there's so many ways in which we can, you know, like have soul rituals and ground ourselves and center ourselves. And so I'm asking you, what are your favorite ways to like ground yourself and center yourself? And maybe because you're doing the beauty piece, like maybe in terms of that, do you have any soul rituals daily?
You know what? I don't have anything. Well, I guess I shouldn't say this is a daily thing because maybe it is. It's just something that's not as I'm not as conscious about, but something that I just do because it's a way of life now. It's
Yeah.
really tuning into my inner voice. And
Oh,
what I've learned over the years is I can't set too many expectations for myself of things that I, need to do because I'm like a recovering perfectionist. So
yeah.
sometimes I take
Hello.
it
Me too.
sometimes I take it
Yeah.
so far one way, and then I get so obsessive about doing things consistently, and it sort of takes
Yeah.
um, the joy and like the whole intention out of what I'm actually trying to achieve from it. But really,
Yeah.
just simply listening to that inner voice and asking myself, okay, am I doing this because it's aligned with who I am and what I want? Or am I doing this because I feel like I have to? I don't want to disappoint other people because I feel like it's something I should do. So, really tuning into that on a daily basis. And that really guides everything, the way that I parent my children, the way that I run my businesses, the way that I, take care of myself. It's really because there's just so much noise out there nowadays. And even sometimes, like I'll be getting dressed or doing something and I'm like, okay, like, am I doing this because I feel like I need to? Like wearing makeup to the supermarket when I was having breakouts on my skin all the time. Like, did I really want to do that? No, but I felt like I had to. So, but, according to who? So it's really, again, peeling away all that, the layers and the noise and listening to that inner voice and doing what's meant for me.
Yeah. Like who's calling the shots here?
Mhm. Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
you to quiet down, like do you meditate or do you like stop for 5 minutes? Like is there do you journal? Like is there any hands-on way or you've just learned to like listen to your voice?
It's more just listening to my voice and knowing sort of when to tune in. I do all of those things. Like I do
Yeah.
meditate, I do journal, but I don't have like a consistent practice for it because again,
Yeah. And I find, you know what? I find I go through seasons like all the time. Yeah.
I find if I set too much of an expectation for myself, it takes away the whole intention of what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So I do it when I feel inclined to do it. But to be honest, exercise is really a really important thing in my life. And I've realized that, exercise is basically like a moving meditation for me. It's something that I really need on pretty much a daily basis. And it just really helps to ground and align me and sort of center me. And I'm a different person when I'm exercising consistently versus when I'm not.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. And like knowing what you know about beauty now, it's a bit of a loaded question, but I'm asking it anyways. What does it mean for you to be a beautiful woman?
I think again, it just really means to be true to you and kind of taking the time to even figure out what that means because we're
Mm,
so used to, all this outside messaging and these thoughts. And one thing that I see people say all the time, and I know that you've addressed this as well, is like, oh, I could never wear that. And I've always told people, you can wear whatever you want.
drive me nuts.
Like, you can wear whatever you want. Nobody is
Yeah.
telling you that you can't, wear or do something. So again, it's tuning into yourself and aligning with that. Sometimes I feel like wearing these beautiful, colorful, like floral kimonos, and sometimes I just want to pare it back and wear, a simple t-shirt and jeans. And again, it's really, I guess, aligning with my feeling on that day and what I sort of want to reflect and feel and all those sorts of things.
Yeah. Okay, so the next part is just like quick answers, like kind of shooting little things at you. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yay! What's your favorite mantra?
Work is love made visible.
Mm. love that. Favorite flower?
Lilacs.
Yeah. Favorite book you've read in the past 6 months?
The Art of Money by Barry Tesler.
Ooh. Favorite podcast?
It varies, but right now it's Simple Families.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one. Taking notes, taking notes.
Mhm.
Yoga or running or something else?
I love both, and I go through different phases where I, do one more than the other. But right now it's running and also spin. I'm really enjoying spin right now.
Great. Book or Kindle?
Oh, book,
Book,
for
yeah.
sure.
Coffee or wine?
I don't drink coffee anymore, and I don't drink a ton of wine, but I love a good glass of wine. So we'll say that.
Good. Glass of wine. Aw, thanks so much, Sarah, for your presence and accepting to do this for us and teaching us about beauty and just winding our lens on what it means to be beautiful for you. And thank you so much for what you bring forth and out. I really see you as like a leader in our community. Thank you so much. And lastly, where can the girls find you if they want to look you up?
So all kinds of different places, but I would say the top two would be on Instagram. Instagram is my main sort of place where I hang out. So Sara Kelly Designs or Conscious Goods Collective. And I also just want to say thank you so much for having me on here. I was so honored that you asked me to be a guest, and I just think that you're doing amazing things. You're such a guiding light, and I love being connected to you and doing these fun things with you.
Oh, we've come a long way, Sara Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Estelle. We'll see you later.
Bye.